Hey YouTube! Oh, I noticed today I've significantly recovered from my having really sore legs from actually having to do some work, so I can now actually bend over without going rocking. Anyhow, this is a Yamaha SG-200. I've done a couple of videos of these. I've actually got one myself, but it unfortunately has been stripped down and oiled. I did see my pal John owned the guitar before me, and I saw the nick of it before he stripped it down, and he was quite right too. It looked really, really scabby. This one is really shiny and nice though. It does have a bit of a big, annoying big dent here and here, like sort of, but the rest of it's kind of mint. You know, like, it's annoying when you get that. So it's like this is a guitar that's probably not really been played very much. It doesn't have any play wear. It's just got clumsiness damage. I've had guitars like this before. My Fender Music Master bass is the same. No fret wear, no damage in the neck, no play wear, but lots of dents in it because obviously it's just been moved about. And especially, see if you're not a guitar-y person and you don't. I mean, obviously I'm handling guitars all the time, so I'm pretty much. I don't want to say it out loud in case I'm tempting fate, but I can pretty much, you know, carry a guitar and stuff and not hit it off the wall and hit it off the doors and all these things just because I'm used to the size of a guitar. Whereas if you don't ever really play, and maybe, I don't know, I mean, obviously it's not a cheap guitar to start with. So this is this one, unlike mine's actually still got the serial number and stuff on it. It's made in Taiwan. Yamaha opened up their own factory in Taiwan in the early 80s, and so basically there doesn't really seem to be any difference. I did this, I did a demo with Scott when he got this, but this guitar, he kind of bought it by mistake. One of those sort of eBay, you're sitting going, oh, can't let it go for that, I'll stick something in. He ended up getting it for way less than what it's worth. And he's got a Japanese one, which is basically exactly the same. The one I've got is much heavier. I've done a review with me and Scott with his one. His is white and mine's, you know, natural and been oiled. Mine's much, much heavier, but I think that might be the amount of oil in it. You know, when you put an oil finish on, if you put, I don't know, a litre of oil in it to make it all shiny, I think that just goes into the wood and then makes it heavier. This is very similar to his white Japanese ones. Even got made in Japan tuners. It's got the same pickups. These awesome sort of Phillips head Yamaha numbers. You've got 2 adjustment screws on the top. Not the same 2 adjustment screws that are on these or that's on cork guitars, because these 2 screws are closer together. It means you can tilt the pickups. Always a good thing. Basically all original. Even got its original knobs. A really very, very pretty guitar. Set neck. So these Yamaha SGs were pretty much for. I never had one for years. This is the baby of the range. There's quite a lot in the range though. There's like, they made them over, I don't know, like a I think they might even still make them. And there's like a 2000, the 1500 and the 2000 are the ones that were well known as being Les Paul killers because they basically were just better than a Gibson Les Paul. Just not really any arguing in that. So you will see them appearing. The guy from Big Country played one. I can't remember what his name is just now. And a few folk, I saw Alice Cooper, and the original guitarist, was on for a few songs at the end, and he had one. They're basically the same sort of thing, apart from more binding. You know, it's got the maple cap. They might even have a carved top on them. You know, binding, ebony fretboard, that sort of thing. So this is like the sort of the Les Paul Jr. version, if you like. Called an SG. Not in America though. In America, somehow Gibson managed to have something against them using SG, so it's an SGB, I think it's called. Basically exactly the same guitar, apart from instead of saying SG on the truss rod cover, it says SGB. So that's the difference between an SG and an SGB. The fact that one of them is in America and Gibson somehow managed to stop them using the term SG, which stands for solid guitar. Arguably, again, I would say well, there's an SG there. To me, it's not really the same shape as an SG. I mean, it is an SG, it says so on it, so I can't argue that. But it's not really SG shaped. I wouldn't have said. It's kind of more. It's more double cut Les Paul, or double cut Les Paul Jr. idea. But I mean, the pickups in them are fantastic. It doesn't have any coil splits or anything like that. Mine does, because mine already had an extra hole drilled in it, so I had to do something with it. But that as a sound from a humbucker is pretty good. I'll go look. Neck-wise, it's actually quite similar to what's on the Gibson SG. I suppose probably a Les Paul, kind of a copy, I suppose, isn't it? Kind of tempted to try and get this one off Scott and then maybe just sell mine. Just because it's much shinier, really. Basically the same guitar though. Although mine is not confirmed to be Taiwanese, because sort of half of them seem to be Taiwanese and half of them seem to be Japanese. Mine's been sanded, so it doesn't have, so pretty sure it's the same as this, so pretty sure it'll be Taiwanese. Not that it makes any difference. It makes a difference to how much for the snobbery value. Like the one that says Japan on it is worth more money than the one that says Taiwan on it, just because it is. Is it exactly the same guitar? I've played this one and Scott's one put next to each other, and would argue. I was actually going to thinking about doing like a blindfold test on them, whereas I was blindfolded and he would give me one of the guitars and I would try and work out which it was. But this one's got like a chip here, which you can feel with your arm, so I'd have to. Also, he's got his set with the lowest axe in the universe, but that's because I know that if you were playing the two of them, it's kind of. So I've also just started this. I was messing about with my pedal board. I'm always saying that I don't like pedals, pedals, and I realised I've been sitting there for, I don't know when I set it up, years. I had a shelf up here with all the pedals that I very rarely used, rather than just have them sitting in a drawer on like a true bypass loop pedal which turned on the link, and then I had lots of pedals on the floor. So currently my pedal board is a tuner. Does that count as a pedal? I'm not counting it as a pedal. My original Rat pedal, which is a 90s reissue my pal got in America in the 90s, and I've had it since then. I extendedly borrowed it for about 10 years and eventually bought it off him. An ABY pedal, which switches, because I like playing the bass as well, so I've got like A is going into the guitar amp, B is going into the bass amp, and the loop pedal. So I'm arguing that the tuner, the ABY pedal and the loop pedal aren't pedals, so I'm running one pedal. So I've got clean with volume, and then I've got with the Rat on. I basically, there's other pedals on the floor. I'm trying to work out if I really need them all, because I mean for many ages I just used the Rat pedal on its own. That was it, because the only reason I used it is because the Sovtech, which I'm not even using just now, I'm using my wee Laney. If you wanted it to be distorted, it's a 60 watt thing, so you had to have it up your gig volume to get it to sound distorted. So the Rat pedal kind of made it sound like it was at full volume at a quarter of the volume type thing. Even to the point of, I remember I tried to do a gig before where I was using the Falcon there. I took the Sovtech and I had the Rat pedal as well, and I was playing it proper volume, and the Rat pedal didn't do anything. It just sounded the same when I had it on and when I had it off, when you're running it into the high input. So I have a wee jamboree. It's very loud, this guitar. So much loud I really should be going and turning my amp down a bit, because that's louder than I normally play. But if I stick it in, try to pick nice chords. Keep it simple. rat pedal. Yeah, so this sounded flipping amazing, isn't it? But I mean, actually, I don't know how much of it comes through YouTube, because I mean, I noticed that, see, I don't think it's my recording setup, because when I listen to stuff back on a video to check it out, it sounds amazing, then you put it on YouTube and it kind of goes, it kind of compresses it a bit. I noticed that very much with that Spark amp I did. It sounded great on YouTube, but see, actually in the room it didn't sound anything like as good as that. Also, I think, although all the pedals I was running were all true bypass, and I remember doing a test before where I had like a true bypass looper, you know, like basically just a true bypass pedal that either sent the signal through all the pedals, even though they're all off, or it just went straight into the amp, and I couldn't tell the difference between the two. Not really that much. Seems to have made a huge difference now, although maybe it's just the general cleaning up of the chain. It just seems to be much cleaner and crisper, the amp, and even with the rat pedal. And the same again, I remember I've had the Mosky rat pedal, which is there? That one, which is a wee copy, and I did an AB using the loop pedal to mix between this and the real rat, because the real rat was my favourite pedal ever. I couldn't really tell the difference between the two. So I don't know whether maybe having the one pedal in, I think part of me think, well, to be honest, I couldn't be bothered wiring it up. I get fed up. There was a lot of wires going through the back and trying to get things into the loop, and all the pedals would get the input jack for the power in a stupid place. So sometimes you could put two pedals next to each other, and sometimes you couldn't. And I basically just gave up. And the reason there's only one pedal is because the lead that's going from out the rat into the loop pedal is only that long. So I was like, I'll put another pedal in next to it. And it's like, I need to put another lead. So this way I'm going to maybe give myself a week with a few different pedals, and then, you know, give it a fair shot rather than just having my usual. I mean, I've been using pretty much constantly the last year. My distortion pedal has been a Joyo US Dream, which is wonderful. Actually, I was gifted that from my pal Ian, who he bought it for a video, and was like, I have that, I think you'll really like it. I was like, I like pedal. I really rate that. It's a copy of a Sir Riot, apparently. Not that I know what a Sir Riot is. And what was it? I've been using this as well for my Black Sabbath pedal as a twin note Pi, which was very cheap. They're not that cheap anymore. Well, this one does actually take batteries. So it's basically, it says pie fuzz on it, like it's going to be a big muff, but I'm not really sure. It does sound very much like a big muff, but it's quite nice because it's got a scoop and a tone. So it's got like a bit of, it's like a sort of a mid and a tone for messing about with it. And someone told me at one point it's a copy of a is it a Catlin bred Sabra Cadabra pedal, which I nearly bought one of, purely because it said Black Sabbath on it, and then it was 100 quid, and it was like, I'm not spending 100 quid on a pedal. So this is one of those ones that you don't seem, post Brexit, you don't seem to see this happen the same amount of times, because it was such a fantastic idea that everyone who voted for it knew what we're talking about. Don't talk about politics. I think I paid £16 for that, delivered from China. You know, it's one of those ones, I remember seeing it, I just looked up fuzz pedals and went for the cheapest one first, and then that one was sitting, I think it was £17 something, and it was like, maybe I'll just buy it. I might just buy it. I'll leave it till tomorrow, and then tomorrow I got the email. Oh, the seller's knocked 10% off, which made it, instead of £17 something, it became £16 something. I was like, sod it, just buy it. Totally rate that wee pedal. It's great. But I've been used to having them all sitting there ready to rock, so just now got the one pedal. I don't know how I'm going to get on with it not having an LED telling you it's on the rat pedal. That's quite annoying. The point being, I suppose, it's up here. You can tell when it's on. You know, it's like it's on or it's clean. Although to be fair, this guitar, the pickups on this are amazing. Like just basically your Damasio Super Distortion type, really, really loud and mid heavy. It's amazing how they can actually get a really good clean sound out of these, which humbuckers are normally a bit muddy and a bit shit. Through my amp, but this one, let's get your. It's got an awful lot more like the bell-like clarity that I like. So Yamaha SGs, they're amazing. I've never played one of the 2000 or the 3000, but there's a guy actually down south, if you look them up on eBay, he collects them, and he must have, I don't know, at least 20 or 30 different models, all sort of crazy ones. Some of them are really ugly, like big plastic scratch plates on them and stuff like that, like from the 70s and stuff, but this one's kind of it's quite subdued, it's quite basic. You know, it's like, okay, you've got your 2 volumes and 2 tones, 3-way selector, so you got your sort of Les Paul thing, but I mean, really, these can be had for like the price of an Epiphone Les Paul, and there's nothing. An Epiphone Les Paul can't touch this. Any one of the Epiphone Les Pauls, even the really good Samick ones, which are really good, are nothing like as good as this. This is like, it's a different league. It's a different. I'm not 100%. I'm still not 100% sold on the shape. I think it's a bit ugly. Just the outline, not my favourite. That goes for the same for the the ones that cost thousands of pounds. It's still this shape, which is kind of. It's not. An SG has got. There's something about the pointy horns and the way it's slightly offset and all these things. Really, I really like the look of an SG more than the way it plays. And the same going for like, if you were going to compare this to the Washburn shape. It's prettier as well. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just think there's something not super pretty about the shape of these things. These were very popular in the late 70s, early 80s for punk. This is the punk guitar. Because obviously the punks don't want to play Gibson because that's, bending to corporate means or whatever like that. But the thing is, it just is awesome. I mean, I don't think there's anyone who could, if you're playing one of these, the sound of them and the feel of them is just phenomenal. The build quality is just top notch. If you're only going to have one guitar, you get away with this, and it's not going to be, some guitars you kind of go, oh, if you took it into a studio and you're playing through a Marshall JCM 800 on one side, and the guy on the other side's playing through the same amp, and he's got like a Gibson Les Paul, and you've got this, you're still winning. It's not going to be like pure, oh, your Les Paul sounds fantastic, sounds much better than this. Not going to happen. But it really just goes to show you that the one I've got, which I never really bonded with. Some guitars you just, it's just, you play it, you just go, it's just yours like that. My new FGN one, it's like I wasn't really sure about that. I kind of bought it on a whim, you know, thinking, you know, if you always buy guitars kind of at the sort of lower price range of what they're worth, so that I'm thinking if I don't like it, I can always sell it, and then, you know, for 20, 30, 40 quid more than I paid for it probably, and then that'll pay for the postage, so I end up getting a shot of it free type thing. Some guitars you just bond with, some guitars don't just bond with. I didn't bond with my one of these. This one's much nicer though, and really the only difference is it's shiny. That might be all it needs. It might be a little bit on the side of which kind of that guitar suffers from a little bit as well. You kind of it kind of punishes you a little bit if you're not good. Do you know if it, that, you know what I mean? It's like it's really crisp and clean, and every note's really articulated. So if you hit a duff note, you notice it because it's not as light as all the other ones. Whereas a lot of guitars, my Flying V's one of them. It's as you stick the fuzz pedal on, it doesn't really matter if you hit the right notes. It's just kind of like it sort of compresses it all and puts it all out at one level. This is much more dynamic. But it's totally worthwhile. You know, these are all things that if you're playing these, it's like any one of those notes not ringing, it's totally noticeable. But what glory it is when it's. See, I didn't hit the string quite loud there for that A minor, and the guitar told me. It went, come on, get yourself sorted out, do it right. So I do feel a little bit sorry for Scott though, because he bought this not by mistake, but sort of by mistake, and then he was really disappointed when he phoned me up to tell me about his app here. Yeah, so how's your new SG? And he's like, up here, yeah, it's great. And I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, well, I think to a certain extent he kind of wanted it that needed set up, and it's like I think he said all he did. I think it even had new strings on it. It was like one of those ones where it's like, I didn't have anything to do to it. It's like, it's fine, it's great. So I think he'd probably maybe swap this for something, or I don't know if he would sell it, because he's basically got, I mean, his other one's white, and I've got a thing for white guitars. You know, white, it's just. I think it might even be, it's, you know, when white gets to a certain age, it kind of goes a bit yellowy, and it's a sort of pearlescent white, and it's like, I like a white guitar. Unless one of my pals, actually Jerry's like, can't stand brown guitar. Why are all guitars brown? And it's like, well, wood's brown, but I do get his point. You know, it's like brown is not a super rocking and sexy colour, even though it's wood. That's nice, you know. I mean, okay, you know, it's like, you know, rosewood and stuff like that. It's nice as brown, but I do kind of see his point. Used to in the 70s, used to get brown cars. I remember I used to see there was a total jobby brown Ford. My papa, I had a grandpa and a papa because I had both of them. One of them wanted to be called Papa, and he had a Ford Granada Ghia. This thing was walnut dashboard and stuff. It was a stunning looking car, and it was jobby brown, like as a standard colour. Used to get brown cars. Yeah. Talked enough. SG-200, fantastic. I don't think it's one of those things that I'll ever end up with trying the 15 or owning the 1500 or the 2000, because they are thousands and thousands of pounds. These can still be picked up for, you know, well, cheaper than some of the modern Epiphones anyway. That the Epiphone that I quite like the look of. It was a couple of years ago. I was in Guitar, and I was like, no way. It was like, and it was like a Les Paul, and it had like a maple cap, but it went through a sort of rainbow colour, so it was like a sort of green translucent, then yellow, then orange and red. And I was like, no way, an actual Epiphone that I really quite fancy. That's great. It was 900 quid. I was expecting less than half of that. Yeah, so it's like, you know, much better than an Epiphone. Rock on.